Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. I was president. I was president. I was president. You said that's true. Billions on the wall. I can use that money. So I can be the poor. Cause I know some so poor. When you break under the shower, screaming like the power. That's when the water devour. I was president. Elected on Friday. Assassinated on Saturday. Buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. I was president. I was president. I was president. Yeah. I was president. That sleep but they can't see it. Wake up with me. Sound of the city. So take this back of honor for your bravery. I wish you the best kid. You and your family. I was president. No Friday. Sunday. Ready on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. I was president. I was president. I was president. Radio was playing it. They call it rebel music. How can you refuse it? Children of Moses. And the children of truth. That's true. It's not ordinary, that's not it. Tell you the truth. The truth. Most of y'all wear Cuban subconscious. Tell you the truth. The truth. Yeah. It's so good for you. If I was president, all blacks have reparational segregation, feed the nation sin.
All right, hey, how you doing, my man? We live.
What's up, brother?
We live right now. Conversations with Mr. Clark, with the family of Jacob Blake, the Uncle Justin Blake. Big Jake just left us on the screen, and we live right now. And the conversation on the topic we're having is the inauguration. You know, the moods, the feelings we having. Are we optimistic about what this next chapter is in American history? How are we feeling? And what are our actionable items that we're demanding from this new presidency, from this new President Joe Biden and his Vice President Kamala Harris, this new administration as a whole? What are our demands? What are we expecting from them? And what did we see today? Justin Blake is in D.C., the nation's capital. He was live at the Capitol on scene as we swore in the 46th President of the United States, Joseph Biden, and the first female Vice President, Kamala Harris. So, Justin, let us know what you've seen out there. First, let us know how you're feeling, how you doing, then get into D.C. and let us know the climate out there on the grounds of the nation's capital.
Man, just honestly, man, we drove up here from Chicago, and I've been in a couple of accidents in construction, and man, I can't ride in cars anymore like that, man. So after being out in the weather today, our body feels a little beat up, but nevertheless, we feel blessed and to have been able to have been at the swearing in today, because we believe it's going to be a tangible change for the African American community that's going to birth some things into our existence that we need to redeem ourselves, so we can rebuild our communities and we can bring things to manifestation that our ancestors would have wanted to see us do.
Amen. Amen. And what's the state of Lil Jake right now? How he doing right now?
Man, he's doing really good, man. He's, like I think I said it last time on your show, he's our hero, man. At 29 years old, shot in the back 7 times and able to get up every day with the most beautiful attitude, and fortitude to try to do better, be better, and go into his therapy and give everything he has. It's incredible, man. Nevertheless, he's still paralyzed. He's in a lot of pain, and he's trying to find a new normality. And while he's doing that, we want to be a support system for him, his father and us and his mother and everybody else around him, just to try to keep stand with him, man. He's got to get past the pain. He needs help doing that with pain management. Hopefully, once he's able to do that, it will help with his therapy, brother.
Amen. Amen. And then how's the family holding up as well? How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Man, you know, we've hit mental walls, physical walls, and all those type of barriers that would stop anybody and put you in the other direction, brother. But we on a mission for our people to see justice and criminality be removed from our and over policing and brutality be removed from our communities nationwide and worldwide. And so even in, like when we've been in construction 30 years, never missed a day. You know what I'm saying? Never missed a day. So we're not gonna miss a day from this. We're 105% committed to seeing our communities and our societies looking like everybody else's.
Amen. Amen. And I'm a committed, I'm in that fight with you as well. I say, you know, we as a Clark family stand in solidarity when it comes to that fight on all levels, not just some levels, but all levels. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So when it comes to actionable items and moving forward and standing solidarity for our people, I think the most important conversation we could be having is how do we build for our people? You know, I always say the best way to boycott is to build your own. And I think, would you agree with that? Would you agree with that?
Oh, no doubt. I believe we brought into the greater society. We own hotels. We own Wall Street. We own insurance companies. We own shipping companies. We have to recognize and understand the best thing we can do for each other is to believe in each other, invest in each other, shop with each other, promote each other, unify, solidarity, stop backstabbing, being snaky as hell, and just we got to be our best, brother. We have to be our best in order for this whole thing to succeed.
After you leave DC, what's the next? What's plans? Are you going back to Kenosha, Milwaukee, Chicago?
Yeah. You know, we're back down there to keep fighting and keep doing what we're doing down there. Kenosha's like little Mississippi, man. They standing on the people's backs like you wouldn't believe. But if there's injustice anywhere, there's injustice everywhere. If they can fire upon little Jake 7 times and justify it, now it's the precedence to move it across the nation. Do it in Ohio, do it in Chicago, do it somewhere else. And they say, hey, look, he got off on it. Why can't I? We have to stop it where it starts. We have to nip it in the bud. And that's what we're trying to do, brother. Stand on it so it can't spread its vileness into other communities where we're present.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's why we see protesting. We keep being heard, we keep being loud, and we keep putting our foot on their necks. I gotta ask you something. Have you been able to? Because I know you work tirelessly on this. You work tirelessly on many things. Have you been sleeping? Do you ever get sleep, man? Do you get any sleep, man?
We get rest, man. We thank God for our queen, Tanya McLean, down in Kenosha, that runs LOK, LOK. Leadership of Kenosha. She's been nonstop on our side, and if we didn't have her, we wouldn't be able to bring this thing to the regional and to the national place where we've been at for the last 5 months plus.
That part.
So we just wanted to say big ups to her, Tasha McLean, and LOK, LOK in Kenosha, the Collective Barbershop, and all the people that work with those organizations and many others and many individuals that made this thing happen yesterday or today, that we got to sit at the inauguration and see it go down.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We helped turn the red state blue, no doubt.
That part. A lot of people don't understand how many people you guys work with. Like you were saying, the Barbershop, the Collective, Tanya McLean, a lot of brothers. My one brother, I forgot his name. Greg, our brother Greg. There's a lot of people out there on the field that's helping you and that's helping the family and that's keeping this movement alive. When things are, because you say you don't sleep, sometimes you rest. If you had any advice you would have to give any young activist, any young person out there trying to keep the movement alive, trying to fight for their loved one, any advice you give on how to deal with the media, or any advice on how to deal with this kind of atrocity this type of way? Because there's a lot of people that this happens to their loved one and they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to protest. They feel like the people look at it as a moment, not a movement. What advice can you give anybody out there that's trying to fight and keep the fight alive when it comes to a positive light?
First off, just stay true to the game. If you're not a roughneck, don't try to be a roughneck. If you're not into the books, don't try to act like you're into the books. Be yourself. Keep everything above board and on the table. So therefore, if you have snakes or people that do things that are wrong or outside the norms, everybody would know that because it's outside the norms. Stay passionate. You got to be passionate about what you do and about your family member, whoever it may be. Stay unified. Try to unify people all the time. Try to bring inclusiveness. Bring as many people as you can. Organizations from Milwaukee, Minnesota, Chicago, Minnesota, Indiana. They drop down. Also, be like, man, Michigan, St. Louis. So you always got to try to be as inclusive as you can, as you can, above board as you can. Because then when snakes or people come to try to grab money or do things that are out of the norm, you've already set what the norms are. You'll be able to see things clearly. Please remove those people from what you're doing and keep on pushing. Some days you be tired, man. It's like a job. I couldn't call off work in construction. I'd get fired if you do that a couple of days in a row. So you just got to have fortitude, eat right, stay prayed up, and get out here.
That part. Thank you, brother. I appreciate your time. Can't keep you too long. I know you probably need some rest. Hey, thank you for being such a supportive brother when it comes to the Clark family. Always answering our calls, always being available.
Love y'all. Y'all are doing great work.
No, we love you so much, brother. And we're going to be tapping in again next week, of course, to keep our conversations going, to keep the name fight alive. Anything you want to say to anybody? Anything you want to leave anybody with right now?
No, just my baby, Tanya McLean, man, we couldn't be here without her and her organization. We, from the bottom of my heart, thank her for everything, for making this such a beautiful thing. She was not feeling so well when we left, but she would have been here with us in D.C. We always end up everything that we say with big ups to the red, the black, and the green. Unity now, one Africa, baby, all the way down.
That part. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a special conversation with Mr. Clark. Remember, the gap between law enforcement and at-risk communities, number one. Number two is to inform and educate on policy and legislative change. Number three is to receive. Sorry. Number two is to inform and educate on policy and legislative change. Number three is to provide resources and healing spaces for those in need in the community. Number four is to commemorate the life and legacy of Stephon Clark in a positive light. Number five is receive recommendations on how to prevent Stephon from ever happening again. And number six is spread the gospel of love. Everybody love everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been a special conversation with Mr. Clark, and I'll see you all another day.